Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you. It's only the fourth time I'm trying to record this video. 'Cause A, I had no idea how to really start it, and B, I just kept getting distracted by other crap. So we're gonna brush by all of that, and especially what's currently happening in the news right now as we speak. I guess just an update is about the balloon, the Chinese balloon, that the U.S. Navy just shot it down over Surfside Beach down there in old California. I actually been to Surfside Beach a few times, twice actually, I think. Once, a very long time ago, I believe with my father. Long time ago, I think it's the same beach, but the more recent time was a few years ago, right towards the end of my trucking career. Before I even moved to Nevada, when I was in and out of California a lot, I actually visited Surfside Beach. Very beautiful place. Met a lot of great people while I was out there. Anyway, into the actual topic of the video, before we get distracted. I didn't want the Chinese balloon, or quotes here, air quotes, the Chinese civilian balloon. I didn't want that really to take precedence over this video. That's just an update. I'm sure you can find probably a better source on the matter. But I actually wanted to talk about a little bit about the Iranian boats that are on the way now, currently to, I don't know where their exact position is, but they are currently on their way to Panama, the Panama Canal. The two ships that I guess we can talk about. The two ships that we are going to talk about. The first one being a Moog-class frigate, an Iranian, domestically produced Iranian light frigate, the Moog class, which is shorter, significantly smaller than an Arleigh Burke-class. But I would consider that within the same, not maybe same type, not the same class, but a very similar boat in its application. It's according to Iran, I think it's a more multifunction ship than I think one of their slightly bigger boats are. But the Moog class vessel, if we want to, all right, the Moog class frigate, it is a domestically, like I said, domestically produced light frigate. It was first reported to be under construction back in 2001. Warship International wrote back in 2008 that 4 of these boats of this class were under construction. Just over the years, they've kind of launched them kind of slowly. Back in 2007, they launched a few. The boat we're talking about is the Dina. So the first boat was the Jamaran. It was built. All these boats were built in the naval factories in Bandar Abbas, with the exception of the Damavad, which was built in Shahid Tamjadi in Bandar Anzarli. And then the Shahand was built in the naval factories in Bandar Abbas. That was back in 2010. The boat, the ship that we're going to be focusing on, the Dina, pennant number 75. It was built in Bandar Abbas. It was laid down in 2012, launched in 2015, and then it was commissioned finally on the 13th of June 2021, and has been active service ever since. Its displacement is 1,500 tons. It's got a length of about 95 meters, or 311 feet. Its beam is about 11 meters, or 36 feet. Its draught is 3.25 meters, or about 10 to 11 feet. For propulsion, it carries two 10,000 horsepower. It's about 7,500 megawatt or kilowatt engines, and four 740 horsepower, 550 kilowatt diesel generators. It's got a speed of about 30 knots, which is about 55 kmh. It has ASR 3D PESA long-range radar, which, if we just take a sidetrack here, it's an Iranian passive electronically scanned array, long-range radar that was unveiled back in 2013. I think it's their standard radar that they use. Probably similar to ours. There's really not a lot of information on that, and outside of Wikipedia, I couldn't really find anything. At least I couldn't. It comes with two 8-tube chaff launchers for its decoy. Armament, it boasts a 76 millimeter Fajar 21 naval gun, which is an unlicensed copy of the Italian OTO Malera 76 millimeter gun. It also has a 40 millimeter FOSS 40 AAA battery, or one 30 millimeter Command CIWS weapon system, which is a close-in weapon system. It's a point defense system detecting and destroying short-range incoming missiles, enemy aircraft, which have penetrated their outer defenses, typically mounted on a naval ship. So it's very similar, I believe, to the Sea-Wiz or the Sea-Ram system. The FOSS 40 is the AAA battery. Not much. It's just a AAA gun. It also comes with two 20 millimeter Quran cannons, which I think are just like it's just an anti-aircraft man-operated gun. It also comes with two 12.7 millimeter heavy machine guns. It also carries about 4 Mihrab SAM missiles, a naval version of the Syad 2 missile system. So very similar missiles. And that's surface to air. Surface to surface anti-ship missiles. It can carry 4 Nors or Qadir's anti-ship missiles, as you can see in these little photographs of the truck here, where they have the long-range anti-ship cruise missile, and which I believe the Nor is a reverse-engineered Chinese missile. They received a bunch of Chinese missiles back in the day, and they reverse-engineered a bunch of them And this was their variant that they came up with. Very similar to the Qadir missile as well, which was more or less a missile that was developed by Iran. It was, I think the Qadirs were an answer to the Noors. It was their immediate replacement. They also can carry two, I'm assuming these are triple-tubed, 324 millimeter torpedoes. And it can carry, this says here that they carry a Bell 214, which is a more upgraded version of the UH-1 QE series. It just shares the same model number. It's just a little larger, and it's more modified with a twin engine. The ASW helicopter, they're probably using their own versions by now. No way of telling how old this Wikipedia article is, or at least this was last edited. Oh, just last month. So, but they've been. I've seen them carrying other helicopters that they've been using. All right, now the next boat would be the IRIS Macron. It's the first. It's this boat is probably the more interesting of out of the two. This is the first and only forward base ship of the Islamic Republic of the Iranian Navy. It's in service with its southern fleet since 2021. And it's named after the coastal region in southeastern Iran. A former crude tanker converted into a warship, she was known with the tentative title Kajai-e Fars, or Persian Gulf, a name reserved for the lead ship of the project Longman, before her name being changed to the current. Though it's not officially acknowledged, Tanker Trackers, a firm that tracks maritime traffic, has identified her as a Japanese-built ship that was completed back in 2010, previously named the Beta and earlier the Al Barada, or Buhira, and whose AIS signal was last detected back in 2019 near the United Arab Emirates. Now it's currently on its way to the Panama Canal. The ship was launched on the 10th of September of 2009 at the Sumitomo Heavy Industries Ltd. shipyard in Yukishua, Kanagawa, Japan. She was completed on the 8th of March 2010, according to a report by Bloomberg, the FAL oil company. A UAE-based energy trader took a loan worth about $62.4 million from the German DVB Bank in July of 2010 in order to refinance the construction of the Al Barada and another tanker. It was a Aframax rated tanker, I think capable of transporting about 80,000 to 100,000 metric tons of oil. Her recorded length overall at the time was 229.6 meters. She was 217.8 meters long between the perpendiculars, with a beam of 42 meters. The ship had a capacity of 105,319 tons dead weight, while her gross tonnage was 55,909. According to H.I. Sutton, satellite imagery showed the conversion took place at the ISOICO shipyard in Bandar Abbas, where she was rebuilt with hangar-like sheds on her deck and painted a blue-gray to be subsequently floated in November of 2020. Before going on sea trials between the 9th and the 14th of December of 2020, the Iranian media stated that the Makran displaces about 121 metric tons and put her dimensions at about 228 meters long, 42 meters wide, and 21.5 meters tall. It was suspected that she was launched in late 2020 after being refitted as a sea base and underwent sea trials in December of the same year. The ship is equipped with information collection and processing gear. While Makran's exact capacities and capabilities are unclear, while the ship is generally similar to American expedition mobile bases, type vessels, or EMBs, it lacks the utility deck used for loading and unloading of stores, and thus is believed to have a lower operational flexibility in comparison to ships of a similar class. The Makran can sail almost 3 years without docking. According to Thomas Nudick, the ship provides the Navy with the persistent maritime operations inside and outside the country's own littoral areas, and can serve as a platform for more directly challenging Iran's regional opponents, including Saudi Arabia. She may act as a mothership for special operations or asymmetric operations, being used to launch speedboats, deliver or retrieve combat divers and commandos, or use of limpet mines. Its helicopter deck can embark as many as 7 helicopters, while platforms for launching VTOL unmanned aerial vehicles are also available. The space on the deck is large enough to accommodate weapon systems such as a fixed or mobile missile launcher or large caliber rocket artillery and their radar systems. Through surface to air missile systems may also be installed. The Makran apparently lacks air defense, which is considered a major disadvantage. Not much else is known by it other than she's got one propeller, and she has an endurance of 1,000 days. So, the mysterious ship known as the Makran. As you can see, this picture here, you've got several helicopters on the deck, including the Bells, and of course these lovely copies of, or possibly even authentic versions of aircraft of which we use, as well as NATO, and they're just your standard naval type aircraft. So those are the boats. Not really much is known about the Makran. It'd be very interesting to know everything that happens underneath the top deck. For instance, is it still a tanker? Or is it holding, is this space underneath the deck, is it now used for storage of other things? Drones, missiles, equipment, stores for food. Is it, does it have plenty of accommodation for a large crew? As I've seen many pictures, a very large crew. So, which we can see Iran going in a direction of taking commercial boats and outfitting them to be wartime vessels, which, they different militaries have done before in the past, but only really if they need them really fast, like it kind of, making boats like this, it kind of says that you're preparing for war almost, which Iran has been upping its defensive capacity quite a bit over the last few years. And recently, they did just get missile attacks inside the country at a few of their munitions factories as well as drone factories. No telling what they're doing over in the Atlantic. I've known for years that they've said that they've wanted to venture out that way. But that's, that was to be seen until recently, that now they are finally making their journey. I believe this ship in particular, the Macron, I believe that attended, I don't know the exact date, but I believe it attended a Navy Day parade in St. Petersburg. An event that Russia held for its Navy Day. I believe this ship was present, among a few others from other various navies. So that's all we have today on these ships in particular. I hope you enjoyed the video. Not much in the way of technical details, I know. I said all I could really say, and the only real good information on these boats is on Wikipedia. So keep that in mind. A lot of the other information I found on these boats were from other websites that seem to almost put an unfair, or biased, had severe bias towards Iran. I try to remain unbiased when it comes to certain topics. This one in particular, being just very unbiased. I don't want to say that their equipment is crap because, they had been, collecting equipment and technology over the years. In fact, some years ago, I don't have exact dates, but that Iran did manage to actually capture an RQ-170, that which is a stealth reconnaissance drone that we have the Lockheed Martin built. I believe Lockheed Martin built the RQ-170. Northrop Grumman built the RQ-180, which are very similar. Both of them are very similar crafts in what they are designed to do. The RQ-170 being the one that was captured, and that Iran reverse engineered and have actually made a line of their own drones. So, but I think that's where I'll leave it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me and tell me what you think about some of these boats. Do you think Iran converting a lot of these merchant class vessels into aircraft carriers, do you think that that's something that we should be careful about? Some of these countries that are taking a lot of these boats that are already around and converting them to aircraft carriers, especially for just the practical purpose of using drones. For the little information we have on the latest boat that they're building that I talked about in a previous podcast, about a aircraft carrier specifically being used for drones. Not else really is known, and it's still under construction, currently at dry dock. That'd be very interesting to see what comes out from that, see how they outfit that to what they need it for. But Iran is definitely among the top 10 list of navies to watch out for. At the very least, the top 5 list. That being up there with China and even Russia to some capacity. I don't really necessarily approve of some of the bashing about the Russian military. Of course, then again, I look at things in a very 2D way. And when looking at other nations' navies, I try not to leave bias in there. So regardless of who the enemy of said nation would be, I always try to look at, well, what's their actual, are they a threat? Are they physically a threat? Or are you just trying to pump out propaganda? So, and that's sort of the thing, the T-72 tanks and all that, and I was, well, you want to, how do I phrase this? You want to know of other nations, what their capacities are, and yes, just having fancy technology is one thing if you, can use it. If you don't know how to use a lot of this technology, then it's just worthless. But, it's obvious that other nations, especially like Iran, have captured our technology and has emulated that in some fashion. They're also trying new things. They're also, looks like, Russia, China, and Iran, they're all sharing technologies. And they're all working together to some limited capacity. Russia and China, they boast that they have hypersonic missiles. We, as of now, I'm not sure if we do or not. We may very well have some. We may not have some. Who knows what they're developing out there on the Nevada test range, or now it's called the Nevada National Security Site, the NNSS. I actually mentioned that word a couple times. But it's very interesting to see where all this, where all this goes, especially what's going to happen is when they get to Panama. So, are they going to dock off the coast? Are they going to, have a big ceremony? Are they going to go over, since they are leaving Rio de Janeiro, are they going to go over on the western, into the western waters? It's very interesting. So, I hope you liked the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you enjoy. See you later, folks.